Another thing would be clarity when it comes to feedback, and clarity when it comes to assignment instructions in general, because again, some people think that a lot of things are implied, but they're not. And a student might take an essay title or take an instruction for a project and interpret it in a way that they think this is what needs to be done, but this isn't what the lecturer meant, and then they're halfway through their work, and then they go and they have a tutor meeting, and then they realize that this is not what they were meant to be doing. And a lot of times the students won't think to ask, because they will think that they've understood it, and they think that they got what the project was about. So clarity is very important. Sometimes I feel academics think that some things are implied when they're really not. And they expect students to know things, but they don't exactly know why they expect the students to know these things. So, for example, in assignments or when they give reading lists, sometimes they will offer 20, 30 sources, and a student on the autism spectrum will fail to see that this is a recommended reading and that you don't have to read every single entry on this list. So it would be good, for example, if this list was color-coded with, say, red, yellow, and green. So the red is do it absolutely, and the next are things that, yes, maybe, or not necessarily color-coded, but just organized in a way that the student knows that you don't have to read all 30 sources, but they're there for you if you need them. If the lecturers have, or tutors have doubts about what students understood, it's better to be safe than sorry. So again, take the students to the side, 10 minutes, it doesn't take more than that, and just tell them that this is exactly what needs to be done, and this is exactly what needs, this is the process, this is how the steps that they should be following to complete said task.
It's also about making the expectations very, very clear. So, and that goes in both directions. It goes in the direction of making it very clear what is expected at that level of study, in terms of, what does it actually mean critical writing, what's asked for that. And then so to explain to someone at what level they need to work it, but also to make it very clear what is not expected. And that's very often the case, that a student might think that they have to find all the sources that have ever been published on that particular subject, and they're making themselves ill trying to, doing too much. I think sometimes someone might think that, information is very clear. If it's clear for you, then, well, I mentioned that, didn't I? But sometimes it's about, okay, giving information in exactly the right moment, and maybe repeating things a little bit more than you might feel needs doing.
Taking things literally, and not being able to understand the abstract questions on assignments, like if they're asking something that I haven't experienced, that can be really difficult to understand what is actually being asked of me to do.